The Young and the Restless spoilers. Summer derails Kyle and Claire's reunion. Love triangle chaos ahead? The Young and the Restless spoilers are hinting that romance in Genoa City is about to get messy once again. Just when it looks like Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman might finally find their way back to each other, Summer Newman could return and blow everything up. With unresolved feelings, family ties, and a possible heartbreak pushing Summer home, a full-blown love triangle may be brewing, and no one will escape the fallout. Let's break down what's happening, why Kyle and Claire's reunion is anything but secure, and how Summer could change everything. Kyle tries to move on, but not completely. Kyle Abbott recently reached a breaking point. After waiting and waiting for Claire to fully commit to a future together, Kyle decided he couldn't live in emotional limbo any longer. Instead of clinging to hope, he tried to make their breakup feel final. In Kyle's mind, moving on was the healthiest option, even if his heart wasn't entirely on board. Kyle's decision wasn't about anger or resentment. It was about self-preservation. He didn't want to keep wishing for a reunion that might never happen, so he convinced himself that closing the door was the best way forward. But in true soap fashion, things are never that simple. Harrison refuses to give up on Kyle and Claire. While Kyle may have been ready to move on, his son Harrison Abbott clearly wasn't. Harrison didn't get the memo about the breakup being permanent, and instead, he's been quietly playing matchmaker behind the scenes. Harrison has seen the connection between Kyle and Claire firsthand, and he knows the spark is still there. His innocent attempts to push them back together have only highlighted what viewers already suspect: Kyle and Claire aren't finished with each other yet. Sometimes, it takes a child's honesty to expose what adults are afraid to admit. The spark between Kyle and Claire still burns. Despite their separation, Kyle and Claire continue to share undeniable chemistry. Their interactions feel loaded with unresolved emotion, and it's becoming increasingly clear that neither of them has truly let go. Kyle even admitted to Diane Jenkins Abbott that he wouldn't be opposed to reuniting with Claire if it happened naturally. He doesn't want pressure, ultimatums, or forced declarations. If they're meant to find their way back, Kyle wants it to happen organically. Wyandotte appears to be slowly nudging Kyle and Claire back toward each other, letting the tension simmer instead of rushing into a reunion. But just because the path is opening up doesn't mean it'll stay clear. Enter Summer Newman, the ultimate wild card. Just when things seem to be trending toward a Kyle and Claire reunion, Summer Newman could come crashing back into Genoa City. Fans have noticed a steady increase in Summer mentions over the past several months, which often signals an impending return. Although Summer is currently off-screen in Italy and involved in a new relationship, that romance may not last. In fact, spoilers suggest Summer could be heading for heartbreak, and heartbreak has a way of sending her straight back home. A broken heart brings Summer back to Genoa City. It would make perfect sense for Summer to return to Genoa City under emotional circumstances. Between Newman family drama and a painful romantic split, Summer could arrive feeling vulnerable, defeated, and in need of support. And who better to lean on than Kyle? Kyle has always been Summer's safe place, and their shared history runs deep. If Summer opens up about her heartbreak, old feelings could easily resurface, especially if Kyle is already emotionally conflicted about Claire. Comfort can quickly turn into connection, and connection can turn into temptation. Familiar feelings resurface for Kyle and Summer. As Kyle comforts Summer, familiar emotions may begin bubbling up for both of them. They share a child, a history, and a bond that's difficult to ignore. Even if Kyle believes he's moved on, being close to Summer again could stir feelings he thought were buried. This puts Kyle in a dangerous position. On one hand, there's Claire, the woman he's slowly drifting back toward. On the other hand, there's Summer, the mother of his child and the woman he once built a family with. The pull between past and future could leave Kyle torn. Harrison the matchmaker, round 2. Adding another layer of complication is Harrison himself. If he senses that Summer is hurting, he might redirect his matchmaking efforts in a new direction. Harrison could decide that his dad and adoptive mom should reunite, pushing Kyle and Summer back together just as Claire is realizing how deeply she feels about Kyle. His innocent meddling could have massive consequences. What starts as a child's wish for family unity could ignite full-blown romantic chaos. Claire realizes the truth too late. The most heartbreaking twist could come from Claire's realization, too late, that Kyle is the man she truly wants. If Claire finally acknowledges the depth of her feelings just as Kyle begins reconnecting with Summer, she may find herself on the outside looking in. Watching Kyle rebuild something with Summer could force Claire to confront her own hesitation and regret. Soap operas thrive on timing disasters, and this scenario fits perfectly. A love triangle set to explode. If Summer returns, The stage is set for a classic Y&R love triangle. Kyle could be pulled in two directions. Summer could fight to reclaim her family, and Claire could struggle with jealousy and heartbreak. No matter who Kyle ultimately chooses, someone is bound to get hurt, and Genoa City will never be the same once secrets, feelings, and betrayals come to light. Final thoughts. The young and the restless spoilers suggest that smooth sailing is not in the cards for Kyle, Claire, and Summer. With Summer's possible return, lingering feelings, and Harrison's matchmaking efforts, romantic chaos seems inevitable. Will Kyle reunite with Claire before Summer steps back into the picture? Or will Summer's heartbreak pull Kyle back into her orbit just as Claire realizes what she's lost? One thing is certain, messy romance is on the horizon in Genoa City, so stay tuned for all the twists, turns, and emotional fallout still to come.